Dum, 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 I'll remix it. You mind laughing at my beatbox? Yeah, I can't sing for shit, boy.
All right.
Pardon me
There
for
you go.
swearing. Good morning, good evening, and good afternoon. Wherever you are, ladies and gentlemen, you're right here with us, and we appreciate that. This is something you might not never know nothing about. I'm your host, Mice Diggy, and here's my co-host, Dan DNA.
Good evening.
Do you like how I did that? That was I'm trying to go for the professional. I don't know if it's,
you've had to think about it when you was away, haven't you?
Yeah, I had to, man.
Presentation.
You know what I mean? I got to present myself a bit more professional if I'm trying to be a podcaster.
Yeah.
If I'm trying to be Black Joe Rogan out here, then you know what I mean? I got to really try harder. Jamie, pull that up, Jamie. You know what I mean? I've been working on my Jamie, pull that up. It's not working,
No,
is it?
it's not.
Is that working though?
No.
Nothing's working.
No. I
all
forgot to
good,
load
though.
them up. Sorry.
Hey, that's how it is, man. When you come up here, it's strictly hip hop. Do you know what I mean? We deal with whatever we got the way we got to deal with it. The amount of shows I had to do, like on a crate. You know what I mean? I remember, tough times, D. On a crate, on like, you know, the what do you call the planks when they're like
Pallet.
Man's done I've done shows on a pallet. Shout out to Harry Love, man. He's been there. We've done shows on pallets and shit like that. So, you know what I mean? Or where the mic ain't working, so now you got to use the DJs. You got earwax all on your mouth. You know what I mean? You got to use the DJs' headphones. You got earwax. It looked like a moustache. You know what I mean? I've dealt with all of that before. So
been there,
this ain't nothing we ain't dealt with before, man. Yo, this is something you might not never know nothing about. And it is a bit weird. We're here on a Thursday night instead of a Wednesday. The reason is because I was away. I was on what Dan likes to call a bus man's holiday. I appreciate that. So, which meaning like you go on a holiday.
A lot of driving.
Yeah, I did a lot of driving. Yeah, I was driving.
Did you?
Yeah,
You had a
I
car
went to
out there?
Goujon-Mestras. Goujon-Mestras.
Did you had a car then, or did you borrow a car there? Or
Yeah, I
anything?
borrowed a car.
Nice.
Had to, man.
That's
you know what I mean?
good, yeah.
I was with the fam.
Wrong
so
side
it's like,
of the road and all that.
bruv. The driving on
That
the wrong
fucks you
side of
up
the
for a
road
bit.
thing is weird.
Yeah.
It's weird at first because luckily I was in an automatic, but at first, if you're in a manual and you're going to reach for the gate, bam, you keep hitting the door, the door bang, door panel, you're like, it's here, it's on my right, not on my left. Every time you say, oh man, what? You know? And then the other thing is obviously what I found myself doing, I kept like moving, it's like I was moving to the right, and so I end up like really close to the middle of the road type thing.
Yeah.
But then I got a good little tip. All you must do is look for the line to be in the corner of the. They didn't know how to say it.
Fenetra.
Yeah. Huh?
Window.
Yeah. Well, yeah, he didn't know how to say
They
that.
didn't know how to
What's
say fenetra.
Nah, but he didn't know how to say window. So he went and it went like that. And I was like, oh, that must be the window. That must be the window, yeah. So once I learned that, then bam, and that helps you focus. You know what I mean? You're focused now. When you're driving, you're like, all right, I got this.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was good. We did catch up last week. If you missed that, go and listen back. We were
went through the Thai thing.
Yeah, we were reminiscing on the Thai experience, man. It was good to do that when we went down there to Jazz Cafe, had a little performance with a bunch of artists, man. And yeah, even just looking back at the footage was
it's
really
good to watch it back.
Yeah, for sure. You can go and check that out on the SYMNNKNA YouTube channel.
Yeah, without our extra commentary.
Yeah.
Or you can watch the show and have us saying stupid stuff over the top of it.
Well, not stupid, but you know, we're having a bit of fun on there. Yeah. So you know, either way, you can do that. And of course, always, man, rest in power to TY. Shout out to Shorty Blitz, man. He posted a crazy picture of him tying A-side. I've forgotten what magazine he said it was for, but it was like around the time when they had been signed to Bear Mountain, Maceo, which is DJ Maceo De La Soul's label. And so it's crazy seeing that because you're like, rah, that's what, Shorty used to have dreads, and he a lot of the time he'd wear them like that. And then Ty was just, you know what I mean? He was little Ty then. It's not like blenched Ty. Yeah. It's crazy, man. So you just see and you go, oh, right, that's I Am a Don Ty. You know, like madness, man. But yeah, so
Tiny.
go and listen back to that show. Shout out to all the people locked in already. Big up the original rockers. Test, yes. I like that name, man. That sounds like we got some aficionados in the building already. Yeah, shout out to Robbie Love. Big up to Nice One JM. Oh, and he says R.I.P. Derek B. Of course. A legend right there. You know what I mean? And we're going to get into some legendary talk tonight, man. Trust that. Looking forward to this one. You know, we've mentioned to the panel already, so we better let you lot know that we are popping our Zoom panel cherry here tonight. So if there are any technical hitches or whatever, don't blame us. You know what I mean? Blame Zoom. Blame the Illuminati. Blame whoever else you want to blame, but not us, yeah?
No.
No, so yeah, if there are any hiccups, you know, it might happen, but I think we'll be all right, man.
Yeah.
So definitely looking forward to that. And first up, we've of course got a shout out the Connoisseurs UK. You know what I mean? For all my weed heads out there, not everybody's in yet, but you know we'll do the roll call once people come in because we got to find out. You know, we don't want to get anyone in trouble though. So you know what I mean. If you slang it up, if you need to. But shout out to the Connoisseurs UK. If you suffer from anxiety, you suffer from joint pains, you know, lack of sleep, too much sleep. There's so many things that CBD can help you with. The reason we know that is because it's scientifically proven, whatever that means these days, but that there is cannabinoids receptors in all of us. And scientifically proven, whatever that means nowadays, that there is CBD in breast milk. That says a lot. So as soon as you're born, the first thing you go to has got CBD in it. We want you to know, we want you to know though, guys, yeah, that CBD doesn't mean that you get high on it. There's nothing psychoactive to do with CBD when we're talking about the cannabis plant. You can get a bunch of information on that online, but I would go to cannaceursuk.com and look at their About Us and our CBD in detail section so you can find out more. But they've got some amazing products, Belgian chocolate, both milk and dark chocolate, sativa or indica. You can also get CBD balm. So like I'm saying, if you've got problems with joints or muscular problems, really good for after a workout as well to like help your muscles relax. They've got that CBD balm with natural coconut oil, cold pressed. You know what I mean? We don't mess with the other stuff. No. Shout out to Connoisseurs as well for their indica CBD oil spray, because that, like I said, man, if you know, for me, I'm awake a lot. You know what I mean? And you get, after a while, you get used to being awake too much. And then this stuff really helps you get a good night's sleep. And even if it's like
what,
six...
You spray it all over?
You spray it under the tongue. Yeah, spray it under the tongue. I mean, if you want to, spray it under your armpits and that, but you might be smelling the weed. They might sack you at work, bro, for that time. He's like, yo, he's always stinking of weed, man. Yeah, but his eyes aren't red and he just seems so happy. He's mad loose as well.
He's always
like,
asleep as well.
Could do that now. You know, a lot of people can't. Like, yo. So yeah, CBD spray. And the cool thing is they've got indica or they've got sativa, or you can get full spectrum. I go for the full spectrum because I want the full shot. Bang. You know what I mean? Like, and when it hits hard. I cannot forget the chocolate stirrers because I was amazed at these. Basically, you know what I mean? Chocolate on a stick, but CBD infused.
Yeah.
You dip that in some hot water, spin it around for a few minutes, then bam, you got hot chocolate.
Yeah, that does sound good.
Yeah, it'll give you a good sleep, man. And guess what? If you go to cannaceursuk.com, when you hit the checkout, type in SYMNNKNA.
Yes.
SYMNNKNA, guess what that is? SYMNNKNA. That's something you might never know nothing about as an acronym. Put it in capitals, capitula. Yeah, I want to talk about that. I found out a bit more about capital letters. And
uppercase.
Yeah, uppercase and all that. Well, yeah, uppercase is a nice way to say it, but the dark way is capital. Kaput. So, you know, but really interesting. So if you put in SYMNNKNA in uppercase, you'll get yourself 20% off any of these amazing CBD products. And like I say, you lot know what I'm like. You listen back to some of the old shows, you know, I'm not really about sugarcoating stuff. I'll talk my mind. I don't really care what people think about it. You know what I mean? I think if people need to know something that's true, that's reality, then we say it. We let them know. And for sure, these will really help you. Whatever you're suffering with, like I said, it's like a adaptogen. So if you are a bit hyperactive, it will help you relax. If you feel that you're quite lethargic, it can help you pick up. You know what I mean? It basically give you that homeostasis, what your body's trying to do. Homeostasis, I should say. That's Dawn and David talk. Say it properly, you know what I mean? I'm trying to get more professional at this, D.
Yeah.
Black Rogan, what are you saying? Yeah, man. Shout out to CanadaSaysUK.com and make sure you hit them up, man, for sure. Right.
There's a good Black Rogan you could use, but it's not.
Is it not age appropriate yet?
No, not age appropriate.
Yeah. So we got to wait, innit? After Watershed and that.
We might have to actually wait till after the show.
Oh, okay. So we'll never be able to use it then, you say, isn't it? That's what he's saying there, ladies and gents. Right, let's get this on the go because it's going to be a big show tonight, man. I'm looking forward to this one. Like I said, popping our Zoom panel cherry, as well as talking about a crazy-ass night that's coming up. Crazy-ass night. And when I talk about crazy, let me get this up, man. I'll give you a lot of the lineup, man. You know what I mean? You think it's a game round there. You think it's a game round there, bruv. Where we at, D? Okay. So let's get this flyer up. Oh, did you say? Yeah. Man, so 30th of September. That's a Friday, 30th of September. It's going to be Hoochinoo Live presents in association with THTC. Woo! Ignorance is no defense. That's the name of the night. And that's the name of the album, presented to you by Kaos Krew, who are going to be performing live. You've also got Genesis Elijah. You got the Lab 79 crew featuring Manage, Skirmish, Rain, Menace, Mendoza, and I believe I saw Killer's going to be there as well, I think. Shout out to Receptor Records, also going to be performing on behalf of them will be King Kashmir, Teach, and Combined Mentals. And that's going to be a lot of fun, man. You got The Last Elect, and this is all going to be hosted by Peaches and DJ Sammy Jay of HFM. Peaches is the all-round entertainer. We spoke to her. I think you might have seen her actually on the video last week.
Yeah.
But we spoke to her about getting her on the show. She said, look, I want to do it live. I want to be there in the flesh. So we're going to work that out and make that happen. This is going to be happening, though, as I said, 30th of September at Brixton Jam. That's 261 Brixton Road. You know what I mean? Google it if you don't know. And it's not going to be too late for you guys either. It's going to be from 7 to 11. And it's £8 in advance or more on the door. You can get tickets from gigs.hiphop. And boy, let's get into this, man, because first of all, you know what I mean? Before we get into who's going to be there providing the music, we get into who's actually there making sure the music can be provided. Theo, where you at, bruv?
I'm on. I'm alive.
Yeah.
Cool. Thank you for having us here. It's great. It's great to be back on on the podcast, on the something you might not never know nothing about podcast.
First time.
G. Nah, you're a G. Where's the...
I did have it written down. But anyway, just a little correction to the lineup for Lab 79. Killer's not on the lineup, but it's Apex Zero that is going to be performing. He was a late addition to the lineup, but he's explosive. So we're looking forward to that as well.
Yes.
So yeah.
So this is another big one, bruv. And we know when we were talking about, I was saying like, yo, Brixton Jam must love you. And then you were saying that actually this is that was the last gig you did, isn't it? Brixton Jam.
Yeah, the last show we did, that was November 2021. That was the Panacea launch party, as well as the Lead by Example, Ramson Bad Bones launch party as well. And I mean, that was November. You know, we used to do 8 shows a year. We used to do festivals, and we're still just trying to get back into into the flow of things. So at the moment, we're doing shows a lot less, but we're looking to ramp that up, and we're very excited about the show coming next week.
Would you say the doing less shows is since the whole flamdemic and all that?
Yeah, I mean, the pandemic killed it. You know, it killed it for so long, and then I think it's harder to get people out. It's harder to just get back into things, and yeah, never mind live events, but even just going down the pub, it's just kind of killed social, you know, the whole social aspect. And people are talking about putting on shows in the metaverse. I don't want to go off on a tangent, but you know, like you don't even need to leave your house.
Yeah,
like
well,
show up
you know, but what
in
kind
a
of show is that?
virtual Brixton Jam. You don't even need to come down for real. So, you know, things are changing, but the live element of hip hop is so important. So, you know, come down next week and see us and see all this amazing lineup of artists perform live, because that is hip hop, to see it live.
Yeah, it's kind of mad, like, because to think about, like, exactly what you said, that is hip hop, to see it live. Hip hop started as a live event. That's how it started. It didn't start in a studio. You know what I mean? With people were making beats, sitting down, getting arse ache, watching all these shows. Like, how are you gonna enjoy a show sitting on your ass?
Nah, we've talked through this before a few times.
Unless you're wasted. Yeah, so it
needs to be experienced.
It's kind of weird. I
feel communal as well. That's the whole point. Is it's meant to be around people.
And it ain't digitally communal either. You know what I mean? We're still, man, them are struggling online. Not everyone's got a Twitter. Not everyone's got, you know what I mean? People forgetting their passwords every damn minute. So it doesn't make sense for us. I think like there's an element of kind of, it's up to us in a way to let people know it's safe to go outside. Don't be scared. Don't be worried. Your boss might be like, yeah, you have to stay at home because the policy is blah, 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 blah. But hip hop ain't got that policy. So you could come out and trust. From time, there's like, shout out to Suspense MC. My man's been going out. He's, what do you call it? He's, what do they say to people when they've got to wear a mask? You go, why are you still wearing a mask? And they go, I'm high risk. That's it. He's high risk. Do you know what I mean? But he's still going out. I mean, he kind of cussed out Jazz Cafe a little bit because he said he caught COVID from Jazz Cafe the last time because of the dirty. But I was like, bruv, come on, man. Wake up, man. Wake up, man. That's you, man. That ain't nothing to do with no. Well, how comes everybody else didn't complain about Jazz Cafe giving them cold? Do you know what I mean? It's only you, bruv. You got to fix up that diet. That's what that's about, man. You know what I mean? If you don't know, just tune in, man. We'll let you know. But yeah, to me, it feels like, because I've been gigging over in France, and France was like China. It was like European China when it came to this whole schmuck down and all that. And then they opened it up and everyone's out. And then now people are slowly waking up like, this is not what they said it was going to be, you know? But they've said it's been a bit of a struggle in terms of, especially at the beginning when they first opened it up, they had problems with people may have bought tickets because you bought a ticket for a show 2 years ago, innit? And now everything's been pushed back 2 years or whatever. They might have forgotten that they bought the ticket and so they didn't go. Or they've been a bit too worried to buy the ticket, so they wait till the last minute because they're worried that it'll get locked off again. And all these sort of things. So I think there's so many different elements to it as to why people don't go out as much now. But it is truly up to us to let people know, like, yo, it's all good, man, it's all good. But at the same time, like Theo's saying, you can't risk it. You can't just do your 8 shows a year again willy-nilly when you know what I mean? People, all types are masked up.
Yeah.
It's definitely getting back to what it was. You know, it's starting to feel a lot better. So we're looking to do a lot more shows, and this one will be the start of many, hopefully. Yeah. And we're really excited about it. So you know, massive lineup of artists. We've got the Kaos Krew, which I want to introduce in a minute. Yep. Genesis Elijah, obviously, I know that he was at the Thai event as well. Yep. But he's going to be doing a quite different type of set. And you know that he's got signed to Planet V, which is like drum and bass. Yeah. So it's going to be a hip hop drum and bass super set that he's going to do. Wow. It's just going to be so light.
Oh, you get to see Genesis Elijah do a super set.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah. I mean, you could drop anything in the middle of hip hop stuff and people go crazy. I saw Stigger the Dump and Dr. Syntax when they were doing stuff together. Just in the middle of their hip hop set, they just dropped Killing in the Name of Rage Against the Machine, just in the middle of the set for no reason. And people just went crazy. So dropping drum and bass in the middle of a hip hop set, I think it's going to just set it off. So just make sure that you come down to that. And then obviously Lab 79, Receptor Records, The Last Elect, and then hosted by Peaches the All-Round Edutainer and DJ Sammy Jay, HFM.
Yeah.
Massive lineup. So yeah, just get your tickets at gigs.hiphop, www.gigs.hiphop. Don't miss out.
And Theo, man, like when we told you before, like we love the fact that you always step outside the box a bit. You're not always just like stick to one group of people performing at your events. It's like it will be different styles of music and whatnot. And how did it come together with the Kaos Krew thing? Like, how did you discover them? How did you find out about them?
Well, the thing is, we were part of a community, if you like, called Of the People, and then Mice, I know you're part of that as well, the whole Rodney P collective. And you just get chatting with people in the group, and I found out that Kaos Krew had this rich 30-year legacy, and I wrote a whole article about it on ukhh.com, talking about the beginnings and an album they had been working on back in the 90s with some of the big names of who went on to be big names now in UK hip hop, and they'd been working on this album and it got shelved. And I've seen this sort of thing happen before, and they decided to dust it off and release it, follow it up with another album, follow it up with 2 solo albums. And then suddenly these guys with all this kind of legacy, this within UK hip hop, have just exploded, and they're just hemorrhaging hip hop albums all over the place and just absolutely killing it. So I wanted to sort of capture that lightning in a bottle and just push them out on a stage and do a show around it, stitch a show around this group. So yeah, it's a very exciting time. So you've got to come out and see these guys.
So it's via the actual Of the People group. That's how you found out about it.
Yeah, that's how me and TJ Chill started talking originally.
Ah, that's sick, man. All right, so let's bring in one of the people helping to make sure that the music is right. It's going to be a big task because you got a bunch of performers there. But we got HFM aficionado up in here. DJ Sammy Jay, welcome to the show. Some feminine energy for once. You know what I mean?
Oh, that's me. Hello.
There you are.
How you doing?
I'm good. Thank you for having me on the show.
I appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. And appreciate what you do as well, man. I definitely see your name floating about nearly every day in terms of supporting UK artists. And, it just shows how important it is because how many DJs we got out there that used to, that don't anymore, because it's like, that's not where the money's at, whatever reason. And so for me as an artist, I always appreciate it anyway, because I'm like, this is where I came up from, the open mic scene. From the open mic scene, I started meeting other producers, meeting producers, other rappers, but also DJs who were like, yo, send me your music. And she's one of them types where it's like, she's not afraid to ask you like, yo, can you send, here's my email, you know what I mean? And it's just funny because you don't see that as much anymore, and you realize like, wow, there's a lot of things missing in this scene that are part of why it's not where it should be. But how did you get into like the hip hop scene here?
Well, I don't know what happened with me. I got dropped on my head as a baby or something. I have no idea, but I've just always been drawn to like the kind of realist, rawest, most lyrical thing possible. When I was like a little kid, obviously that wasn't underground UK hip hop. I hadn't heard it at that point. It was more like when I was a teenager. But I've just, the most realist, rawest available thing, I've always gone for that as an option rather than the most commercial thing that everyone else seemed to be going for. I was kind of not drawn to that at all, like ever. Don't know why.
I think that happens with a lot of us, innit? Where it's like,
and it's just carried on. It's something I feel like I have to do because I can't not do it.
yeah. Like you grow up and obviously it's like Capital Radio, you know what I mean? Whatever's on that your parents might have on was doing the dishes, this, that, and the third, then Top of the Pops. But then there's somehow, some way, and that's why I always ask people how you got into it, because UK hip hop isn't something that, yeah, man, I heard it, blah, blah, not willy-nilly type thing. It's like you have to, I got into this via, I usually say the big brother thing. Like there's always someone's big brother or your big brother used to buy records. They used to buy records and then you sneak into the room.
More just like, I got into hip hop just by kind of, there was chart music on in the background, but then I'd hear something that was hip hop and that would attract me. And then, I realized hip hop was a thing and I loved it and just started searching out, shows that just did that, and obviously got into US hip hop first, and then like garage, and then kind of realized UK hip hop existed, basically.
How did you get into DJing?
I just kind of, even before I was a DJ, I was the person bringing the music, if that makes any sense. Like, if I was just hanging out with a few friends, like, I'd be the person choosing the tunes. No one else was too bothered or whatever. My car was always the place to go to for good music. And then as far as DJing, like when I started actually going proper out, when I was, I don't know, 18, maybe a little bit younger, I could just always hear like when a mix was coming. And I didn't realize that not everybody did that. And then my friend said I was weird. So
it's like, it's like
I'd hear one beat and like know what tune was coming in and stuff.
You start getting mad excited. People are like, yo, what's going on? I'm still singing the chorus to this.
I didn't realize that was like unusual, but like, yeah, my friends I was with at the time weren't DJs, and yeah, they were just like quite, I don't know if they were impressed or just thought I was nuts, but it was like my party trick. I could tell any tune from like one beat, and everyone else is busy, I don't know, dancing or whatever, and I'm just like, oh, that's coming in. Like, wow. So I mean, it took a while. Like, it wasn't an instant thing from the moment I did that. It was more like a process before I actually realized that's something I could do. I had a lot of respect for the art and didn't see it first of all as something that I would be able to do. But eventually I was just like, I can't not do this.
So was it like because obviously with DJing, like as an MC, you just pick up a pen, you know what I mean, or pick up a mic. But with DJing, there's the whole equipment thing. Like, what do I need? Like, where do you find that out?
I mean, I kind of just picked up an awareness of what you need. I didn't get it straight away. I probably even got into presenting before I specifically got into DJing, really, a long time ago. Yeah. And then, you know, eventually just like I had a friend like from work who was selling some like literally belt drive turntables really cheap because, you know, he got them because a lot of guys just get turntables, you know, for fun when they're not massively into it. And yeah, it hadn't used them much. These were literally like belt drives, and I used to mess around on them, and eventually got hold of some, some proper ones.
Yeah, reach your limit with the belt drive. Yeah,
I got a cheap vinyl collection that someone sold me a handful of vinyls for a ridiculously cheap price, and I'm like, I'm having that. It was all kind of 90s hip hop and stuff, which I liked anyway, bit of garage and stuff. And obviously, like the invention of Serato makes it even better, because that was kind of the time that I was. You know, I haven't known an era that wasn't Serato. It kind of came about just before I got into it, really. And that's good for me because I love vinyl. I've got a lot of respect for vinyl, but I love being able to play any track I want digitally. So that's a big thing for me.
It's the working DJs. It's good for working DJs. People who are aficionados and spend time at home just want to listen to vinyl, fine. But if you've got to carry vinyl around, if anyone's ever had to carry more than a box of vinyl, get on an airplane with a box of vinyl.
Bro, I've been there, man. With Shorty Blitz, you know, I used to host for
saved people's shoulders, wrists, arms.
I'm only a little girl. I'm not that strong.
Yeah, exactly.
And pockets though. Like I've been with him, and he's had to pay extra because on one way they were like cool with it, and then on the way back they're like, nah, you got to pay, bro. Like what?
Well,
I didn't have to. Yeah, he's had to pay extra money now for the wait.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, for the. And he's already big now, Joe. Yeah. Yeah, man. So I don't blame anyone. Even DJ Maceo, I remember asking him, because he was bang on the CDs, but he was killing it. Like, you could tell that he was really good with doing the CDJ work. And he was like, look, man, he goes, look, if I can carry these around, why have I got to bring all my vinyl and scratch it up and possibly lose this and break that? He's like, no, I'll just bring the CDs. I'll just burn off my CDs. And he's just got wallets of CDs, and he can carry it around a lot easier. Yeah. So that makes sense.
For me, it's the choice as well. Like, I can play if I've been sent a track that day by a brand new track straight out the studio from a UK artist or something, I can play that straight away. Haven't got to wait for a vinyl release or whatever. So.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a very good point. Damn. So yeah, so obviously then you've made your mark in the scene. Like, people know your name.
Hopefully.
Yeah, I think so, man. And you're involved in this night, which is going to be quite chaotic. It's going to be chaos for real, because there's a lot of artists performing. So yeah,
I'm gonna make sure it's not Chaos.
yeah, exactly. Yeah,
we want the headliners to be Chaos, but
Yeah, only the
they're
headliner
the Chaos Krew. So they gotta be. So yeah, but I'm definitely looking forward to it because it's gonna be so many different like kind of bolts of energy passing through there, you know. Like Genesis, hearing about that he's gonna be doing a jungle hip hop set is gonna be okay. Because I've never really heard him do that. I've never heard him do any jungle before.
Oh yes, I could tell you some tracks to listen to. He's amazing. He's just he's always been good at like double time and that. He's done grime tracks.
Yeah.
He's one of those MCs that really is kind of equally good on both. Like both kind of upbeat stuff and more boom bap stuff. That's something I've always admired about him.
What do you look for? So for up and coming artists, obviously, who want to get their spins on, like, what do you look for in the work in order to be like, yeah, I'll play this on my show? You know, like, there's obviously a filter there. You can't have everything.
Yeah, just kind of rawness. More than anything, like lyrical talent. I mean, obviously, got to have good beats as well, but I'm not fussy if someone's making music in their bedroom, but I think it's good, I'm going to play it. I don't kind of wait for other people to approve it in any way. I've just never done that. If I like it, I put it out there.
So what commercial artists do you rate then? Because I've got a feeling you're going to say like none, but I'm probably wrong.
I wouldn't say none, just because like I think in the UK stuff has started to chart that we could only dream would do. Like I remember when Vossi got to #1. I actually like that song, you know, and I was like, wow, I actually like the UK chart #1 right now. It's not the main kind of style that I play. I'm probably more boom bap overall, or like underground kind of grime, but that is a song that I would play and I do like. Or like Dave, I rate, although I do prefer him when he's being more kind of lyrical, like that Black tune he did. That's just like one of the deepest tracks ever. I love that track. But you know, he does like more charty stuff as well, and I don't blame him. But I feel like there isn't as much compromise as there used to be. Like artists had to make a lot of compromise. You know, they had to do a 30-second verse on some girl band's track to get in the charts or something. Whereas now I think they are being kind of genuine to the UK, and of course the deepest lyrical stuff that's really saying something, that's, you know, is that ever going to get the play it deserves? They don't want people to hear that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, is it supposed to? You know, you wonder whether
is it even supposed to?
Is that supposed to really get like? I think it's tricky for obviously people of an era, because when you got like super lyrical MCs doing this, that, and the third, and they were going commercial like Pun or Biggie even, or but then, like you said, sometimes it feels like there are artists who do have that skill. They can be very lyrical, but then it's quite obvious that in order for them to go on the commercial route, they dumb it down a bit. Do you know what I mean? And so I don't know. Yeah, it's a tricky one, man. But it makes me wonder, like, okay, is the lyrical shit really supposed to be out there?
Yeah, and like someone like Dave really does seem to genuinely go in and out. Like he hasn't just given up on making, the deeper, meaningful tracks. He just kind of does both. Yeah,
for sure. Yeah, man. Woo! It's got to be good. It's got to be good. Yo, so Theo, you want to introduce the Chaos?
Definitely. I want to just pick up DJ Locke. I just saw he's on the chat.
Oh, wicked.
But yeah, introducing the legendary TJ Chill and Johnny D from Kaos Krew, 30-year legacy. Let's go.
30-year legacy. Jeez. Let's see some fire emojis up in there, please. Ladies and gents. Johnny D. Salute. Yes, man. Thanks for being involved, bruv.
It's good to be here. Nice to be here. Good opportunity to promote the jam and that.
Definitely.
It's nice to be here with you guys as well.
Definitely, man. 30th of September. 30th of September, mother lovers. We're going to make sure you lot have that imprinted in your brain. You know what I mean? Yo, so yeah, man. So we've been looking at the whole Kaos Krew thing, and obviously Theo was talking about it. But yeah, we need to step back, like go back in time. I guess 30 years, is it?
Yeah.
30 years ago.
Yeah.
Well, this is the thing. This is the 90s. You know what I mean? It weren't even that long ago, but this is the 90s.
Late 80s.
Yes. TJ Chill. So going into the late 80s, right? All right, late 80s, yeah. You guys, where you from? You're North Wheezy? Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We are North Wheezy. That's where it all sort of started. You know, by the way, good evening, everyone.
This is
Peace and
TJ Chill.
blessings.
TJ Chill, ladies and gentlemen.
Thanks so much for having us on. And nice, man. Your track, Complaints Department, I've had. I've been playing on repeat since it came out, man.
Cheers,
Love
bro, man. Good old Dave, mate. That's
I
Dave,
got the whole anthology.
Serious?
So that be on record.
Wow,
yes,
that's
sir.
crazy, man.
Yeah, so in terms, I'm not one who likes to talk about way back in the day, but because the story hasn't really been told, and this is a great opportunity, we're amongst friends.
Yeah, man.
You know, we can take it there. So
I want to find out, I want to find out how you guys, obviously how you met, but how you even got into hip hop music, first of all, because that's always an interesting story to me.
Yeah. Johnny, over to you first.
Well, and we met at school, you know. What year was it? Must be 83, 84.
Yep.
Met at school at a time when, if you was into hip hop, you was into all of hip hop. So it was you'd be breaking, popping, graphing, rhyming. Everyone was into the whole thing. Yeah. So we was in separate crews, and Chill and his crew was doing a little thing, and you know, it was back in the days stance. I was like, what's this? And after that, Joe reached out and we was like, right, actually, Johnny, man, come into our crew, man. Let's do a thing together. And ever since then, well, sure, tell him the rest, bro.
Indeed. So, the Kaos Krew officially started in 1985. Wow. Is when we started. But then, you know, I was into hip hop already from 1980. Johnny, you would have been into hip hop from when?
Similar, maybe a little bit afterwards. Electro as it was then, because it was oh man, electro tunes. And yeah.
And was that like, so where are you hearing this music? Was it on radio or?
It's well, as you alluded to before, Big Brother. So I've got an older brother, Herbie Hutch. Shout out to Herbie Hutch, and he's 3 years older than me. And we used to get tapes from our cousins in America and from friends. So we used to get those original Zulu Nation tapes from way back then, before the records were released and stuff. I have a clear memory that people used to say on the tapes, you know, this is the year 83, when it was actually 1981. Wow. And I don't know if that was because of like what we find today. You sort of record a tune, but you know you're not going to release it until when So he was into the electro, and I used to hate it. But then when you keep hearing music again and again and again, there's always one tune that stands out. Then two, then three, then four. Then before you know it, you know, you've got a collection that you really like. And it's all springboard from that. And then I had a stereo, and I was the beat provider for the Touch Crew. And the Touch Crew was led by Tilt. And Tilt was the first person in the UK to be arrested and jailed for graffiti.
Wow. Jeez.
So where are we at the moment? What area are we in where you're talking at the moment?
This is, we were from like Edgware in Harrow.
Okay.
So we were really cut off from anything. We used to sort of wave them off at Harrow bus station when they used to go down to Covent Garden and Paddington and do their battles and whatnot. But we were shorties at the time.
So with I want to understand the electro scene, because like Johnny was saying, that's what it was back then. That's what hip hop was, right? It kind of was birthed off the electro scene. So at that time, so you had people graphing, you had people dancing, like breaking. Is that right?
Well, I mean, Johnny, it wasn't really breaking to start off with. It was robotics.
Oh, like body popping.
My memory is the robotics came first. I remember the first piece of graffiti I saw was not on the wall, it was on the floor.
Oh,
And that was in our local park that both myself and Johnny went to. And this would have been 80, 81.
that was sprayed, not chalk, yeah?
Yeah, sprayed.
Wow. Okay, and so that's happening whilst the music is playing in the background.
Yep.
And then the same with popping, but then when did the rapping start coming in for you guys?
For me, it would have been around 82.
Mm.
You know, and I'm starting to do Run DMC rhymes and all of that kind of stuff. Johnny, when was it for you?
Well, you know, I think the first lyrics what I knew inside out was Gary Bird, The Crown. My friend's older sister used to play it. And I was like, what is that? You could just heard it. And it's like, it was about 15 minutes long. Stevie Wonder's on that record. And yeah, I think that was the first lyric that I kept saying round and around and around. I think that was the first one, the Gary Bird Experience, The Crown. Then there was other bits. So Run DMC, I remember Run DMC being out Sucker MCs. What else? Yeah, loads.
And then
loads
from that, like you said, because I remember, I think the first time it was like, yo, we used to write down like Big Daddy Kane lyrics or Rakim lyrics so we could rap them back. And then my brother was like, he's like, oh, why don't we try and write our own? And I was like, write your own, you know, kind of thing. But yeah, I guess it's not the same way, right? Where you're just like, okay, I could do this. Let me try this out, kind of thing. And then so
yes,
what?
it was LSK who we've had the pleasure to work with up in Leeds. He dropped onto me. He was like, Johnny, he said, listen, before you do anything, before you write, everyone bites at one stage.
Yeah.
So everyone's learning of somebody else.
Yeah. That's basically it. But once you learn this, like the mechanics, then now you put your mark on it. Like, this is me. This is my voice. This is how I sound. This is what I rap about, type thing.
Yeah.
How did you not know what to rap about?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the accent. I gotta say, big up, man. Like,
you put the accent.
Listen,
At that
I gotta
time,
say big shout out to Johnny B for that, because like back in the early days, I used to do the Yankee Doodle Doo thing, and it was Johnny who, when we were at school, used to play London Posse, Demon Boys, Syndicate, Kaos Krew. All of that stuff, and then he was like, "Nah, you can't rap like that. You have to rap like this." And
because don't forget, it was normal. It was normal.
It was, yeah.
We all did it to start with, because that's how you learn. Like we were saying earlier about, you learn off listening to it. So if that's all you're hearing, that's all we was hearing.
Yeah.
That's what you're doing. You know, throw your hands in the air. That's what you're doing, because it's when you develop and you start to put your stamp on it, and you're hearing other things. And what was out in the ether, so sound tapes, London Posse.
So who was the first? Who was the first UK voice you heard?
The first UK rappers I remember, I've got to say probably Junior G, all them, that sort of generation. You start naming names and you know you're missing people out.
No. I'm just trying to take the audience back a bit, and just so they can sort of hear, like, you know, what it was like to sort of hear your first ever UK voice, where you feel like that's me.
Heights as well, Family Quest, all
So
those
Drew.
guys. Yep, so Drew, Flex.
You know what I mean?
Melody.
Yeah, Mello. Yeah, MC Mello.
No. This is Melody from the NSO Force organization. We're getting deep now.
NSO Force.
These are deep cuts. But there's a story that sort of leads to that, because so 85 we started, 87 we started performing live. By 88, 89, we started, Johnny hooked up with Positive Beat Records. So Positive Beat Records was based in Lambeth Grove. They did an album called Known to Be Down. And off that you had, Mighty Ethnics.
Oh, yeah.
1159, you had Kaos Krew, you had She Rockers, DJ Streets Ahead. Echo, there was a whole bunch of people that sort of came out of that one record. They were going to do volume 2, and out of volume 2, you had Johnny D, you had the Voice of Reason, you had Scare. Johnny, pick up the baton.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, that was that is back in those days. But yeah, what I saw that as was I had a good grounding with working with them guys. So we was always working on something. DJ Chin. I mean, we used to go around London with MC Reason, DJ Chin. It almost became like a sound. It became like almost a sound. So we'd do something in West, in Grove, or do something in South London. Yeah. And a lot of MCs, I had the pleasure of working with and seeing a lot of MCs coming through, even if they only came on, flung down a couple of lyrics and bounced. You know, people like Sergeant Rock. Rapski. You know, these guys that for me as a young guy at the time, probably 15, 16, and working with some of these guys and or being around some of these guys, man, it was a serious, solid grounding. And that was in what hip hop was at the time.
And that was all live stuff. So it's kind of
live
like
stuff.
Like you're saying, it's like almost like a sound system, and it kind of makes me think how that's still alive, especially in the grime world, where a bunch of MCs they'll just you know what I mean, go around, it'll be ciphering. Yeah. For us, it's like, the open mic, or, you know, outside when you're half drunk and bash up or whatever. But, you know what I mean, it's a similar energy, you know, in terms of that. And I think that's kind of missing right now, you know, that's definitely missing. There's not enough sort of open mic scenery. And that's a really good place for you to get your craft where you want it to be as well, right?
That was my grounding. That was absolutely my grounding. It was like a sound. So you do 3 or 4 hours. You have the mic for 10 minutes. Someone else come in, and a lot of it was off the top of the head. DJs coming in different. DJs throwing down beats and cuts. Yeah, it was a solid grounding.
You know, the other thing you got to say that in those days, if you weren't good, people were chucking beer cans. Yeah, it's serious.
Wow.
Down and booed off.
Yeah, you get booed off and you get beer cans at the head, so you had to be good. But when Johnny was doing that with Positive Beat, you know, we was backing him 100%. So shout out to Peekaboo, who's unfortunately not here today, but he's the third member of the group.
I see.
And meanwhile, whilst Johnny was doing that, I was going down to Shepherd's Bush and starting to hook up with Darkman, who had Vinyl Lab Records. And they were connected with the Power Lords and with the Cash Crew. Yeah. And so started doing that. And then we started recording at Monroe Studios. So we were the first artists to be at Monroe Studios before Caveman came in. This is before Caveman got their deal with Profile Records. And at the time when we went into Monroe Studios, it was still in Barnet. You had Chaz and Dave recording their Christmas albums there. And
big up Chaz and Dave.
Where we started learning our studio craft. And then it moved famously to Holloway Road. When it moved to Holloway Road, then you had the likes of Scientists of Sound and Brotherhood and Mighty Ethnics came there. London Posse came in. MCD and Silent Eclipse.
Wow, Silent Eclipse.
So, and then eventually through our recording, Black Twang came in. So it was like a London version of D&D studio.
That's crazy. Monroe Studios.
Monroe Studios on Holloway Road.
Holloway Road, jeez.
I've got to say, someone put something in the chat about Power Lords. And I know Eddie from Power Lords was looking to do like a Legends track with a load of MCs on it. Someone put it in the chat. DJ Loke.
Yeah, DJ Loke. That's my DJ right there, man.
Yeah,
boy. He says, hold tight, Bam from SOS as well. Jeez, okay.
And Son of Noise was there as well. Ooh. I mean, there was a whole bunch of us that was in there. Now, what happened during that period was we got a development deal with Abbey Road. And
hold on, wait. Slow. We got to slow this down now. We got wait. So you're at Monroe Studios. When you're saying we're working there, what's going on? How is it like? So you're writing and recording there, and other people are coming in and out. How is it working there?
Yeah, so it was a commercial studio. So we were basically paying for studio time, but we were dealing with reel to reel. It was a completely different world in terms of like record production.
Analog.
Back then, completely different. Editing, they were still using a razor to cut the physical tape and sellotape to tape it together to do edits.
He's not don't know nothing about those taping. Jesus.
2-inch reels and half-inch reels and all of this kind of stuff. So I mean, it was very primitive, but the guys who were in there, so you had Principal, who was producing for Caveman. He went on to produce for Black Sheep. So I mean, we were in the heart of all of that.
Yeah.
Now,
a lot of talent, just a lot of talent, a whole bucket full, a vat full of talent. Okay, so you're on your toes now.
Yeah. Well, so on the side, what happened? Back to my brother, who was the one who got me into hip hop in the first place. He started speaking with an engineer at Abbey Road called Darren Godwin. And at the time, the only person they had in Abbey Road was Chesney Hawks.
Big up Chesney Hawks.
Yo, Chesney Hawks, that's taking
Chesney Hawks, and they said,
bad man Chesney Hawks. He's still doing it now.
No disrespect to Chesney, but at the time he said this place is dead. Like in terms of vibes, there's no. We need, and the guy who we were working with was just working on the Batman soundtrack, the Tim Burton film, the original one. And he was like, okay, I'm doing this soundtrack stuff, but it's not what I want to do. I'm more into like R&B and street stuff and urban stuff, and I want to be doing that. So my brother went in and spoke to him. There was us, and there was a couple of other acts that went in, and we were the first ones that were ready. So they sort of turned around and said, okay, what you got? And then we just started working and recording in Abbey Road. Fact, we took the place over. I mean, we really
serious.
One of them, you open the doors.
Yeah.
And then that's it. We was there on the regular.
Yeah, I bet, man. That must.
And we went in there deep as well.
Is it?
We was turning up with people.
A lot of parties in Abbey Road.
No, it was good. It was an incredible education, and in fact, the only reason we went back to Monroe is because the studios was booked out for 6 months by Paul McCartney. 4 or 6 months, he booked it out. Subsequently, we got to realize that he booked it out for the Beatles to do the Beatles anthology. So we actually got kicked out of by the Beatles.
And that was wasn't it the anthology that they made a big thing about it being fully on iTunes or something like that? Like they really pushed the digital thing with the anthology, I remember.
Yeah.
I think it was when they remastered a load of stuff, I think, and then they released one track that they hadn't released back then or something. Yeah, I remember all that. Yeah, okay, so you was gone because of that.
So was there that
kicked out of Abbey Road by the Beatles? That's a pretty big story.
Yeah, it's messed up, man. Did it feel like special in there? Like, there's some shit been made in here.
I think when you go in the door, it's not there anymore, but they had a plaque on the wall which was for the Abbey Road album itself, and it said in commemoration of sales of 1 billion units. That's when you're like, all right, that's
if that's not motivation, boy.
It was special, but your head's in a different place. We was young.
Yeah.
We were. I was looking at who's working here. We was approaching it differently. We weren't as professional as they were expecting us to be.
And you know,
Yeah.
there
Nice
was
way
a
to put
time
it.
Yeah, of
when me and Johnny were sitting down in a cafe, and I was like, you'd have people like Roger Daltrey from the Who who'd be sitting there just munching away. What's his name? Who did Need a Little Help from My Friends?
Joe Cocker.
Joe Cocker. So there was one time we were sitting down,
Wow.
and I was like, Johnny, man, just turn slowly, but you got Joe Cocker sitting behind you.
And he's eating a plate of beans.
Yeah.
Just-
So we had moments like that, you know, where
Beans
Paul
and
McCartney
bacon.
would open the door and you know, let you through and stuff like that.
Right. Yeah.
That's funny, man.
But to us, because they didn't mean that much to us at that time,
Of course. Yeah.
you know, they were just people, and we treated them like people. I think later on, especially when we started hanging out at WNK radio station. So WNK was like the North London version of Choice FM, which was down south. Now there we met people like Sweetie Irie, Janet Jackson, and you know, just like people who we could relate to. So then it was a case of like, all right, this is pretty cool. We were meeting people like Natty B, the DJ, people who we used to listen to on pirate radio stations, Calvin Francis, Mystery, you know, all these kind of DJs. And so that to us was probably more of a connection than the people we were seeing at Abbey Road.
Yeah. Yeah. Because
You said something earlier about carrying records and that.
Yeah.
You know, I used to carry records for DJ Busy B. It was on Medina FM back in the days, and so I used to carry his records. We used to drive there. I used to pick up the phone on his show. I remember those days and of carrying those records. I was 15, 16, carrying records around for you know what I mean. You know how heavy those things were.
Yeah, boy, dangerous, man.
Just whilst we're in the 90s, just a footnote that Johnny was actually the first UK artist to be on breakfast TV on TVAM.
Oh, serious?
With Lauren Kelly. Yeah. That would have been what, 1990?
I think it was 1990. Yeah.
You spitting bars on there?
With Positive Beat Brothers. Yeah.
Wow.
So how did that come about? What was the...
Well, how it came about was at the time. So I was, I think, well, nowadays it's called permanently excluded from a number of education establishments in Northwest London, and ended up in a place that was at the time called the Year 16 Project, which was where they were looking to try something different. Nowadays it would be called the Proof, but it was sort of it was almost a cross between a secure and a Proof, an educational unit. Anyway, my time there was finished, and I had this record coming out, and it was just a moment in time where they were looking to do a piece, like run a news piece about kids that have missed education and gone on to do something. So they approached the Year 16 Project, and they were like, no, we don't have anyone like that. And then I no, hold on a minute, there might be one. You know, someone phoned up and goes, Johnny, are you still doing music? I was like, yeah, I'm signed to a label, and put them in touch with the label. They set it up, and we rocked up to TVAM and performed, did a little bit of an interview, performed the track, and I think a couple of weeks later we were on B Sky B doing something different. It was a little circuit for, I think the interest lasted all of about 6 weeks. But at the time, it was just mad. Like, how did this happen? I'm 17, 18 years old. Like, what's going on here?
That's crazy.
Car picking you up and take you. It was when it was still up Camden Town.
Yeah.
I
wonder how many little kids munching their Rice Krispies were inspired by that bit.
Yeah, for real. I want to do that.
Mum, I want to be a rapper.
Damn, that's crazy, man. So is that the same then for being at Abbey Road? Were there any other hip hop crews there?
No,
working
it was
there?
just us. Hip hop didn't infiltrate Abbey Road for many, 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 many years.
Jeez, you popped that Abbey Road cherry with some hippity hop.
Yeah. Which,
Trashed the place a couple times, but it sounds of what Johnny sneaking in there, boy. Sounds like some parties were up in there. Hip hop parties, you know what I mean? So all right, so then this was where the Mind Revolution was conceived, right? Mainly at Abbey Road Studios, or was it a mixture?
Before that, so when we were recording at Monroe, it was always an idea. It was about making a record, really, you know.
Like an album.
There was a fascination about making a vinyl record. So when we started recording, for me, the idea was always, let's work towards a fully fledged studio produced product that we could go to record labels, we could get a deal, and off it goes, and you know, we'll tour the world and all the rest of it, and fame and fortune and yada yada yada, as like everyone thinks when they start off in music. Because it took us a long time to actually, and in that recording, we've sort of released what is presentable, but there was a whole stack on that project. There's about 12 tracks that no one will ever hear, just because you know, we had to set a quality standard and make sure that we met that. And basically, it got to 97 when we finished it, and we were recording with Black Twang, and they had finished their first album. So at this time, Tony had dropped the other guys who were part of it, VRS and DJ Rumpel.
So Black Twang was actually a group before?
Yeah. Well, so it started off as Split Decision, which was a swing beat type of Teddy Riley group.
Wait, what?
So they were on Go for the Juggler.
Nah, come on, man. Wait.
It's true.
Theo, you never warned me about this, man.
So yeah.
Wait.
So at
Black
the time
Twang.
when we first met them, they were doing
Joe,
music.
you need to say clearly exactly what we're talking about here. We're talking about
Black Twang was originally Split Decision. It was actually a group, but originally was Split Decision, who were swing beat, New Jack Swing.
Well, they were making swing beat records, you know, and they were really good. They were really, really good. And in fact, they were in a Kaos Krew session when they got a call to support Mary J. Blige at, it was either Brixton or Hammersmith, and it's the famous one where Mary J. walked off stage and she got booed by the crowd. The support act was Split Decision, aka.
Who was singing in the Split Decision?
Yeah,
don't lie to me now.
But he's got a good voice, man. You know,
Black
and I'm
Twang.
not saying that to
Tony
be
Rotten.
disparaging or anything.
No,
because we
no
were there at the
way.
time,
He can sing, man.
and their stuff was good, man. It was really, really good. And you know, this is a side of Black Twang's story that people probably haven't heard, don't know about, but
Yeah.
it was good and it was quality, and they just changed direction, you know.
Yeah,
and
massively.
anything that Tony does, you can see he puts in 1,000,000%, and that's what he did. He learned his craft. I used to go up to the studio door in my ear, listening to what he was doing, going, "Wow, man, he's learned how to do the snare. He's learned the popping snare. How's he doing that?
He's got the high fade.
Yeah, I heard
the satin suit.
He's got the clip top.
I heard Black Twang actually
the
develop,
eyebrow.
you know, from where they were to what they became. And that really was, I mean, Rumpel was excellent at what he did in the production. So was VRS. VRS is a musician, classically trained pianist.
Oh, serious?
You know, so they had Michael as well, who when they sort of became Black Twang and dropped the name Split Decision, Michael sort of, I'm not sure what happened, but he sort of left the picture. And then they just started making really banging hip hop.
So it's just a switch over between from one music style to the next? There was no sort of, you didn't see like a progression into sort of rap or anything.
I think for me it was a bit strange because they were making this music that was really, really good, and then all of a sudden they started making my music.
Wow.
Now that's how I felt at the time.
Yeah.
You know, because it's like when you're struggling and you're sweating and, you know, just trying to get your thing done, and then somebody comes along and they're making progress a lot quicker than you. Yeah, it wasn't the easiest thing for my ego to take at that time. But you know, Tony's talent, it has stood the test of time. He's a phenomenal artist. The music he does is phenomenal. You know, I went from hearing him do the swing beat thing to going to see him perform at Brixton Academy.
He's singing
and
the
the
swing
whole
beat.
place just rocking and bouncing. So, you know, he's proof is in the pudding, and he
Because
proved
he
it.
sings so rotten. You know, you hear him sing, so he can sing.
Yeah.
But it's the swing beat. I'm just trying to imagine the swing beat style. That's all it is.
Well,
Can't trust.
you know.
All I can think is, can't trust a big button to smile. That girl is. Well, is he going that kind of vibe with it?
Split Decision did an awesome tune called
Sammy Jay.
Jennifer. Now, I don't know if it's out. You could do a YouTube search, and if you hear that,
Split Decision.
that's them.
What's the
before they
tune?
became Black Twang.
What's the tune called?
Jennifer.
Jennifer.
Yeah.
Woo! Yeah, boy, you're dropping some knowledge here today. Ladies and
Listen,
gentlemen.
I bought that record because I liked it. So
We
you know,
should
I'm not
push-
here to put
No,
it down
not at all.
or to
Not at
say,
all.
Swing.
you know,
The utmost
New Jack
respect
swing,
to,
baby.
to Tony Rotten
Oh,
and
of course,
everything he
man.
does.
Nah. Tell you what, you can come up here anytime,
Yeah,
man.
exactly.
Man.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know, it's-
yeah.
it's all good.
Yeah,
man.
I got much love
but-
for
I need to hear this
That
shit.
said, I've got to
need
see
to
some
hear this shit.
photographs and I've got to
I need to
hear
hear
some
this
Split
shit, man.
Decision.
Yeah, I need to see the pin roll ups. I need to see the
Listen,
cliff
on the
top.
front cover, it's got all of them on it.
See that
It's got
shit,
Really?
man.
DRS,
Oh,
it's
right.
got Tony Rotten as he was
The
then.
leather
and
medallions.
It's got Michael.
You see that
yeah, I
shit,
think it
man.
was a swing.
Them hammer pants. Don't hide them shits. Let me see them shits. Yeah.
So basically, what happened was
Shoulder pads.
whilst we were coming to the end of our album, Mind Revolution, they had finished Network Southeast. So
Right.
he went
Wow.
off for it must have been 6 months going to record labels, just trying to get a deal. And every time he was coming back to our sessions, it was just frustration. It was like, you know, they're telling us to remix this and to, you know, he was just basically going through a nightmare with record labels. So at that stage and at that age, you're a bit sure of yourself, and it was like, nah, man, that's not going to happen to us. And basically, after we finished our album, we went through exactly the same journey. I followed his exact path. I contacted all of the A&Rs, all of them saying, yeah, it's great. Some of them even saying, yeah, we're going to offer you a deal. Others saying, yeah, just remix that one track, or, you know. And after we went 6 months, I said, time out. This is nonsense. We got, and then we did a track called Next Version. And Next Version, even if you listen to it now, like the energy that's on that track is the frustration of recording for 7 years, doing a finished album and not being able to get it out. It's got me and Jonie on there. We're screaming. We're screaming on there. Like, the energy of it is just incredible. In fact, if you come to the gig on the 30th of September, next Friday, we're going to perform that track.
Oh, okay. So you're not going to get to feel that energy.
You're going to get to feel that energy.
Can I ask
So,
you
yeah,
something about because you mentioned that it was like 7 years of putting the album together, and then after about 6 months of you pushing to get it out through different various labels, you kind of said, that's it. But do you look in hindsight and think like maybe you could have put like another, you know, because it was 7 years of putting the album together. So then what time limit would you really put on? Because I hear about some artists in America where they've had a track for maybe 4 years or something like that. and they've been pushing it for that long, in a sense. And then once it finally, people are like, oh, they get it, because I think the album's quite powerful, you know. And so, is there any of that?
Put
Do you
some
look back on
reality
it?
on sort of what happened. You know, it was when we were at Abbey Road, we were using downtime, so it didn't cost us. When we were using Monroe, it's a commercial studio. You know, we were paying for everything: musicians, engineers, studio time, the whole works. After 7 years, that album was costing us, without putting an exact figure on it, tens of thousands of pounds. And me and Johnny, we were teenagers. Do you know what I mean? And we were paying for that out of our pockets by any means necessary. Everything was going into the project. Yeah. So we were looking to make that back through a record deal, record publishing, which is what you do when you're a recording artist. Yeah. And as I say, after 6 months, it was just it just wasn't happening, and we were following exactly the same path that Black Twang had gone. So we'd seen it, and we knew that, you know, if we kept going down this path, it wasn't leading anywhere.
Yeah, that's the thing, and that you've said it there, and that's why I ask about hindsight. Do you think now it would be like, oh yeah, of course you don't do what he's done because it didn't work for him. You don't go down the same path.
Yeah, I think it was because we were confident in the music. I was certainly confident of the talent that we had and the collection of music that we had put together. So what we did instead, we did Next Version as a radio single. We got lots of play with that. And then life kicks in. So as a unit, we went off to live life. Now, the difference and what people will see when they come to see Kaos Krew is Kaos Krew is more than just a hip hop crew. Kaos Krew is actually family. We are interlinked. We've been together since we were at school. You know, Johnny's family is my family. Boo's family is Johnny's family. Is my family. Yeah. We're all intertwined outside of music. Yeah, you know? Okay. It's deep. It's deep, and it goes back to when we were children. So Kaos Krew does exist outside of the music, and at that time, musically, that's sort of what happened. The crew just lived life. So we were still connected, but
musically, Next Version was the last thing I did for about 15 years. I was like, forget this, man. Yeah. we done it. It got like Chill said, it was getting some airplay, and then that was it. My life took a whole next turn. I moved out of London, and didn't do any music for about 15 years. And then in the space of a couple of weeks, a few things happened. There was a compilation album came out that featured one of my early records, and people were reaching out to me going, "Oh man, I see your tracks on this this compilation." MC Reason, I was working with from Positive Beat. Wow. She was like, you know, I'm doing a thing. I'm getting AWOL collaboration, this group together with DJ Mr. Sticks. Why don't you come in on that? TJ had never stopped doing music. He'd been going all that time. He'd been DJing, working on Itch. TJ was like, bro, let's bring Kaos Krew in. Jeez. I guess about 2013, 2014. Yeah. And then it all started up again.
Ah, that's sweet, man. That's a wicked story, boy. So it's like, so go on. Sorry.
What happened was we started working on the album Ignorance Is No Defense, and we had Mind Revolution just sitting there. So when we were coming to the end of Ignorance Is No Defense, now the whole world has changed in terms of being able to put out music. So I was like, okay, well, in order for people to understand Ignorance Is No Defense, now is the right time to make available Mind Revolution. Just so it tells the whole story. So the whole story is there. Because otherwise there's a big chunk of our recording history that's sort of left out. So we thought, just as a novelty, let's make it available. The focus was on Ignorance Is No Defense. That was the focus. And it was turning into a fantastic album, and we can see the potential of it. So we dusted it off, cleaned it up, got it mastered. Big shout out to Ferro Media for
Big
doing
up
that
Ferro,
and
yeah.
mastering it, Femi. And then, yeah, we just sort of made it available. But the response that we got from it was incredible. We got, and it is a time capsule because it was recorded from 1990 to 1997.
Yeah.
7 years, boy.
Yeah.
That's a good number.
And if you listen to the new album, the current album, Ignorance is No Defense, in the opening track, which is like an instrumental, at the end of it, it's got like a singing, which is actually my cousin, and that's a sample taken from the first album.
Oh, see.
We did a track called Latin Trinity. And so in order to sort of wink and nod at the people who know it's us coming back, let's stick that on the end of that track just to say, right, the boys are back.
So who's doing the production on the album? On the
first album, it was mainly me. Johnny does a track called Windows Are for Cheaters. Incredible track. One take, Johnny D, raps for about 7 minutes non-stop. And then on the second album, it's a mixture. We had LSK on there. I did a couple of tracks. DJ Fingers from the Syndicate did a track on there. We had a guy called Jay Laphonical from Switzerland. We did a couple of tracks on there. I'm sure I'm missing out someone or a couple of Tough Cut.
Red MC.
Tough Cut did a track on there.
Shout out to Tough Cut.
Now, the track that Tough Cut did, we tried to encapsulate everything that we've just mentioned so far and tell the story of the crew from start to end. And it was that track that sort of inspired us to release Mind Revolution, because it's like we're talking about the history, but it's sitting there on the shelf. So let's be available.
Yeah. Makes sense, man. It's better that way as well. Like you said, it's telling a story. And then from then, and also I guess it'll feel like you've closed that chapter for you guys as well. It's like
but it's strange because it came out literally 30 years after we first walked in the studio to start working on it.
Yeah. I think it's good that you put it out though, for real.
That is unprecedented. That's really unprecedented.
Yeah, because there's a lot of people who've probably made music and that's it. It's just sat there. They've never really done anything. And
I mean, when we were at Monroe Studios, PLZ, who was another group that was in Monroe Studios, did some work with the Demon Boys. That's never seen the light of day. I would love to know, where that is. So, there was a lot of groups that was like that. We're now working on the next album, which is all produced by Mr. Johnny D. So,
for real.
Wow.
And we released the first single from it on Monday.
What's the single called?
Johnny.
Nice and Decent People.
Nice and Decent People.
Nice and Decent.
Oh, so that's dropping on Monday.
No, it's released.
It's released already.
So,
okay.
Nice.
Play that at the end.
Yeah, we can play that at the end,
at
man. Yeah, we'll look for that.
Wicked.
As played by DJ Sammy Jay on the Exposure Show on Itch FM.
Shout out to Sammy Jay.
So you've got so there was an Itch FM connection between you and Sammy Jay as well. Is that
right? I used to
go into that?
Host a show that played strictly UK. I haven't listened to US hip hop since 2002, and I've been just supporting UK. And so I was on Itch FM between 2002 to 2007. I used to host most of the Itch FM live shows and birthday parties and things like that. So that's where a lot of people became familiar of myself. And the reason why I sort of stopped it was because I'm an MC. Going back to 1980 to 1982 and starting that and doing the 7 years with the Kaos Krew album. And so I just got to the point where people were knowing me as a DJ. And it's like, yeah, I love repping the music and bigging up the artists, but that's because I am an artist.
Yeah.
And, I need to show people what I'm really about. And that's sort of where I started working on the second solo album and then the second Kaos Krew album. And we're sort of full circle now. So.
Jeez. Yep. And Itch FM, man, very solid. How long have they been going now? Because, boy,
Since 2000.
Since
so that's 22 years, yeah.
22 years, boy. I remember
You
tuning in.
guys used to hang out at Deal Real, right?
Yeah.
I was at Wild Pitch while you guys was up around. there was like me, Digger, Mike T, and Lucian. We were like the Wild Pitch crew.
Yeah.
And so everyone was doing all of the fun things up at Deal Real.
Deal Real. The first Deal Real, you mean, isn't it?
Yeah.
The original.
Then there was one day when somebody brought in a white flyer which said, "Would you like to be part of a hip hop radio station, Itch FM?" And we was like, "Oh, here we go again. Somebody's trying to start up a hip hop station. Well, this will come to nothing."
Yeah. I know, 22
Famous
years
last
later.
words.
Boy. Yeah, for real. 22 years later. That's crazy, isn't it? So, Sammy Jay, did you ever listen to Itch when it was on radio, when it was like FM? Itch FM?
Yeah, not as much as I would like to, because I didn't I lived just outside of London at the time, so it wasn't kind of in my local frequency, but I had like relatives and friends and stuff in London, so I did listen. I actually used to tape it off the radio. The cassettes have met an untimely end eventually, but I wish I still had them, like I'd frame them or something. But yeah, I did listen. I was aware of it, but I wasn't like a regular listener that knew like every show and stuff, unfortunately.
Yeah. How about the like we were talking about Deal Real Records, Wild Pitch, those days were like, it was a lot different when you know people congregate at the record store. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Do you know what, when I hear about stuff like that is the only time I kind of wish I was older instead of younger. Spend most of my time trying to be younger, but actually that's, I would have loved to have been around for that kind of thing. And I was around, but I was probably a little bit young and a little bit far out.
Yeah, you're right though, because like hearing the stories, like some of these stories, bruv, you've been dropping some bombs, man. Serious. Some of the knowledge people are in the comments like, yo, my mind's blown and all that, like jaws dropping or whatnot. But yeah, hearing that sort of history as well, Sammy, I like that. You're just like, rah, for real, man. I wish I was there.
I didn't know like a lot of those things, so yeah, I've learned something. What's the name of this podcast?
Some shit you might, well, after Watershed, so now we can say some shit you might never know nothing about.
Yeah, exactly that.
Yeah, people do. They end up saying it properly. I think Theo knows how to say it.
Theo dropped it.
It's something you might never know nothing about.
Ooh, see, he's got the Watershed one locked as well.
Oh, can I jump in? I was just going to say, Sammy, because as well as a music event we're doing next week, it's also an award ceremony.
Yeah,
we're going to have presenting an award, Best UK Hip Hop Award. But Sammy, tell them a little bit about that award if you can,
please.
Oh wow, okay, yeah. So the award kind of came into being this time last year. I was surprised with it. I was interviewing him. I was actually interviewing TJ Chill on my radio show, and yeah, he said like he got something for me. He'd already given me some t-shirts and that, so I was happy. T-shirts and exclusives, So I'm like, what's this, a cake or something? And yeah, it is. Hang on, I've got it right here. The UK Hip Hop Award.
Wow, look at that. That's decent, man.
Very honoured to be the first recipient of it. And happy to be involved in kind of keeping the legacy going.
Yo, we need to drop some bombs. I know this thing ain't even. Yeah. Hey, put some fire, some bombs emojis, something up in there, man. That's So it's gonna be presented on the night, yeah. Yeah. Woo. The
So we
game done
can't say
changed.
who the winner is, but you know,
The
if,
game changed.
come on down, get your tickets. Gigs.hiphop.
Wait,
Come on down. UK Hip Hop Award is going to be presented.
does the winner know who they are?
Can we say?
No, we can't say, can
No,
we?
we can't say who it is, but
I think people need to get a ticket if they want to find out who it is, really.
get a ticket, come
Yeah.
down and see it. But TJ, can you tell them? So what was it? They have to be part of one of the elements, right? To say a little bit about
Yeah.
that.
Right. So basically, the idea of the award came about because lockdown presented a void of recognizing, you know, real UK hip hop. So I thought, you know, instead of waiting for somebody else to do it,
Sorry. So
DIY.
finally got the bombs working.
So I thought long and hard about who I felt the first recipient should be, and DJ Sammy Jay was a deserving recipient. So she got the first one, and it acts as a baton. And I'm hoping what it does, it will shine a light on people who are working really, really hard, unrecognized in the UK hip hop scene. And the idea is whoever wins it chooses the next winner.
Right.
That's sick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
It's like,
sick.
it's like rapper tag, but for awards. Yeah.
Award
Showing
tag.
props.
Yeah,
It's
award
actually
tag.
that's it's a very new way of showing props. Do you know what I mean? Like passing the torch, literally.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like-
yeah, absolutely.
Allowing people to shine. And yeah, man, that's heavy. That's really heavy, man. Well done, Sammy Jay. You know?
Thank you.
Your mother lovers got to put that working out there if you want to get that award. And that could go on forever. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It won't stop. So what? All right, guys, let's talk about the UK hip hop scene. Obviously, back in the day, do you know what I mean? It was a certain way, like TJ and Johnny were talking about. You used to record your album, then you take it to the label, and you know what I mean. You start trying to shop it around and see who's going to put it out or whatnot. Things have changed a lot, obviously. You know what I mean? Anybody can make a track now. Anyone, literally anyone can make a track. You know,
I'm just gonna go make a track, okay? I'll be back in a second.
yeah, literally, it's like that. It's like that, man. Just throw it up there, and you know. So there was a time when lyrics meant a thing. I think we can all agree with that, right? Everyone's about the lyrics and that.
Yeah.
But the game done changed, you know. And I think Sammy touched on it a bit about how artists may, you know, simmer it down a bit for the commercial side and whatnot. But it felt like there was a time when you could be super lyrical and still make it on a commercial level, right? Or it felt like that to me. There was a time when there were artists that were really, you know, like Big Pun, you know, doing all of that, but still, so it's quite possible. And
Even
But
Fallacy.
was it in
Fallacy.
the UK though? Was it in the UK?
yeah,
really?
well, this is the thing. Yeah, has it ever been in the UK where super lyrical has kind of got it there, you know, got their due cause?
That's the next step though, maybe. That's what I'm hoping. We've come a long way.
Yeah. But do
Do
you think we need to
lot
tighten it
ever
up?
remember JC001? Remember
Yes.
that guy?
Yeah.
Fastest rapper in the world. Yeah.
Yeah, but do people know
JC
him?
used to
Like,
do the Scrubs
yeah.
jams. I remember JC from doing the Scrubs jams.
That's right.
Right.
and he was
Back.
still quite commercially known, wasn't he? So I don't know.
I think so.
True.
Yeah.
It's true. It's
I
true.
mean, you know, over the years there has been the odd artist that has broken through. There was a time when there was the Manchester rappers who were getting into the charts. Was it Buzzy B? Johnny? Remember?
Is it
Yeah,
Buzzy
yeah.
B?
Yeah.
Was
yeah,
that in the 90s? Yeah.
The Khaleefs.
Yeah, the
I do remember that.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Khalif. Yeah.
They done a tune for
right.
Nazim Hamid, wasn't it?
Yeah,
That's right.
yeah.
His walking tune and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Khaleefs. I mean,
You know,
big up Paul
so
Edme
lit-
from Khaleefs.
Who else?
The same big up Paul from Break. He was part of Breaking the Illusion
Ah,
up in
Breaking
Leeds,
the
and he was also
Illusion.
part of the Khaleefs.
Yeah.
MSI and the Asylum.
Yeah, MSI and Asylum.
You know, even Syndicate, when they released Live the Life, that went into the charts.
And you have Brotherhood as well. They did the, I think it was the advert, and they did really well with that album as well. But
Brotherhood were on Virgin Records, weren't they?
Yeah, that's it.
They were on Bite It Records as well.
But it was some sort of Virgin connection, or
yeah,
or something. That's I got that all the videos on MTV. Yeah.
Is there like, if you could give advice to the up and comers, like artists now, because obviously a lot more people are on an independent thing, what would it be in terms of like making sure, you know, the quality is there, obviously?
Yeah. It's funny. I remember there was this artist who was asked that question, what would your advice be? And he said, stay out of my way.
That's a good answer.
No, I think just do your thing, you know, try to be yourself. Don't copy anyone, and be comfortable in being yourself, you know, and try to be the best you that you can be. And don't be afraid to be true to yourself.
The copying thing's hard nowadays, boy. It seems like copying works for you, you know?
Yeah, but not long term.
Not long term, exactly.
You'll never have longevity like that. I mean, you know, we are the epitome of patience. It's taken us a long time. Like where we're sort of getting to now is where I would have wanted to be in 92, 93. But it's paid off. The patience, the crafting it, the getting it right, feeling comfortable with what we do. So we're not trying to be anyone else except us. And when you listen to us, we sound like us, which is, you know, which is great. And people, I guess because it's authentic, people are gravitating to it and checking it out, and they're enjoying it because we're being true to ourselves.
Yeah, for sure, man. Not lying there, bruv. Serious, man. People better make sure they get on down. September 30th, Brixton Jam.
Listen, we're gonna blow the roof off because we're from that generation of entertainers and performers. So I'm speaking quietly confident, but we know how to put on a show.
This is what I'm saying, man.
You've come from like the very point of entry of, you know, of the whole rap thing. So you know, you should know how to do it by now.
You know,
yeah, for sure.
When we started, it was about putting on a show. When you went to see LL Cool J at Hammersmith Odeon, or you saw Public Enemy, or you saw Run DMC, and even going further back, so people like Kool Moe Dee, you know, even further back, Grandmaster Flash, we grew up watching these guys and watching how they perform. So we understand the importance of performance.
So there was two shows I always remember. We talk about showmanship. I remember Stetson Sonic in Camden. I think it was was it Astoria? Stetson Sonic, all 6, 7 of them, all dressed in white, doing their whole show. And Dougie Fresh up Oxford Street back then, and like TJ said, the legendary one was Hammersmith for us to see. Public Enemy, Eric B. Rakim, LL. That was that's showmanship and craft, man. You know, stuff to learn from.
No, that looking down on the ground.
If you look back on the video of that, and that's the one
87, was it 87 or something?
Second album, where me and Johnny were in the front row.
Wow.
Literally in the front row looking up. So yeah, we learned some good lessons from some good people.
Jeez, man. Yeah, that's levels, boy. Levels, man.
Yeah.
That's none of that like, bro, I'm just gonna you know, you can't do all that, man. That's something I'd advise people is like, if you're gonna do the live stuff, Theo, I'm sure you know about this, like the amount of live acts you've put on. You could tell when people are nervous, when they're you're not ready for this stage yet. You know, it's like, make sure you're prepared to go out there and put on a show.
Yeah, I think the worst thing is not doing something. You know, if you think, I want to perform live, and you just keep putting it off until the time is right, that time never comes. Just get out there. Just start doing some open mics, and then just do your thing. And don't be scared if you're not amazing on day one. I think that's a problem with new artists as well. I'm not amazing on day one. So it's like, you got to work at this craft. You've got to hone it and train until it becomes better. But I think a lot of the new generations are like, oh, I'm not amazing on day one, I give up. Like, these people are putting 10,000 hours or whatever. So, you know, just keep going is my advice. And try and be a little bit diverse. You know, look at Jen, you know, jumping on drum and bass records, or like Rodney P jumping on the ska stuff. You know, just whatever, mix it up.
I mean, when I started back in the day, I started in the park. And that was it. You know?
That's what I was going to say, is that you two have come from
live,
yeah, where
that's all you had.
You've got the you know, you, like you said, you're just
getting
hip hop, just getting beer thrown at you. Yeah,
you know, there's a space, make the most of the space. You don't have to pay for it or anything. You try it, you learn your craft.
And nowadays, I hear people saying about, you know, that, so the great thing about music nowadays is anyone can make a music. The worst thing about it is everybody does make music. But, you know, I don't know if it's easier or harder nowadays, because everyone picks up their phone and they're trying to make a video and get their stuff out there. I think it's really difficult nowadays for some of the younger artists to actually come up, because there's so much out there.
And do you know what, Johnny? I think it's like it's harder for them to picture what it's going to take to sort of build up the confidence it's going to take for you to go and do your thing confidently, because there's not as many venues around. There's there's not the sort of the thing of people doing it on the street. There's very
building
few,
that craft.
That's what we need to do.
In front of people. Not just in your bedroom, not just on a mic. You know, there's people releasing tracks that have probably never even performed.
Yeah, for real. And they're shook, boy. They got to go see a therapist and that before they can go perform and all that. No, man.
I think we also have a responsibility of creating opportunities for younger people. So, like for us as artists, if somebody is producing something, you know, encourage them, motivate them, inspire them. Say, yeah, keep going. Yeah, let me see if I can do something with this or work with you with that. So I think, as you start to move up, give back, you know, because that's the way we create opportunities for the next generation.
People are saying, though, oversaturation, you know what I mean, saturated with poor quality. Shout out to Yomour, shout out to Kenny Rebel. So there is that element of it, though. Like, you encourage too many people, you get too much.
The value of the music.
Let me tell you about
that's the value, man.
Yeah. On Itch FM, what I used to do, there used to be a time when I would play the stuff that I liked, and then I started playing stuff that was sent to me. And then what I realized was some of the things that was being sent to me that I didn't like, that I played, that other people liked. So I started to play more of that. And then just by giving somebody that opportunity, it allowed them to do something else.
Yeah, I get that.
And
now you're right.
Something else. And it got better and better and better. You know, I will say this publicly, Nemesis and Arrogance was an excellent example of that. The first thing they bought, but it got played, and then they went on to make an incredible album, you know, which is a classic.
Yeah, it is a tricky one, because I'm still thinking about the amount of bullshit.
Yeah, absolutely.
You have to wade through before you're like Sammy Jay. I'm sure you must get sent some stuff where you're like, But you know, for me, there's two ways of dealing with it. You can be negative to that person and say, "No, I'm not playing your stuff, man. Is whack." Or you can say, "I'm not playing it. This is the reason I'm not playing it." Yeah, that's it.
You know, and you're sowing a seed for them to go away and think, and then it's on them to sort of pick.
Yeah, I think that's honourable. Yeah,
do you give feedback, Sammy Jay? Do you sort of tend to stay in touch with artists?
I try and be nice. And also sometimes another thing you can say is if it doesn't kind of fit with the show. You know, if people are sending me something that sounds like it should be in the charts, whether it's good or bad, that's probably not the kind of stuff I'm playing, you know.
Yeah, that's important, isn't it?
I think maybe you should set up a club night, TJ, called the Lion's Den, where you just throw beer at people if they're not very good. Because that also helps. I know that encouraging people helps, but also bullying people helps. It does help.
Empty beer cans. Empty beer cans.
Bruv,
in Australia, they crack a beer and throw it at you. Like, but that's a term of endearment. They're like, oh man, you fucking smacking it, bro.
Have this on me, mate.
Yeah, have one of these, man. You're like, bruv, the equipment, man. What the hell's wrong with you lot? Yeah, I'll have it anyway.
No, because it's sort of, you know, as well as needing the encouragement, people do need that sort of, because it's going to be hard. You're going to, if you really want to pursue the artist's path, it's not going to be easy.
Nah,
and you need to be hard in a certain way, not hard in a you know, psychotic way, but you've got to be able to take knocks and not really take it personally.
Yeah. But you know what? The rules to being successful still apply in music. You've got to be dedicated, you've got to be committed, you've got to be hungry, and you've got to give it your best shot. If you don't do any of those things, then, you know.
Yeah. That's plain and simple, boy. I like the way you draw. Hey, that was telling you. Right. That right there. Gems. You gotta get some gems up in this mother lover, boy. Yes, some shit you might not never know nothing about. We got Johnny D, TJ Chill from Kaos Krew. We got Theo up in here, Hoochinoo, UKHH. And we got HFM's finest, DJ Sammy Jay.
Award-winning.
Yep, award-winning Sammy Jay. Woo! You know what I mean? See it there?
Theo, you got your award? Where's your award? Your run.
You get probably got it next year.
Yeah, Theo's got an award.
Yeah, this is for being a top promoter. Yeah. Don't give that out to anyone, you know.
Top boy promoter.
No, I'm lying. It's a fun one.
Anyway. So what's happening with Itch at the moment then? Itch.
Oh well, I'm guessing that's for me.
Yes, that is for you.
Yeah, well, we've got some amazing DJs. They are doing their thing. We're available online at itch.fm. If anyone wants to check that out, we have live shows every day in the evenings, all day throughout the weekends, and then there's always repeat shows playing and stuff as well, so you can listen during the daytime. Every show gets uploaded onto Mixcloud, so if you've missed a particular show that you wanted to check out with a interview or something like that, you know, you can check back any show. The DJs are all just like bringing something different, but really, really talented, really lovely people, really dedicated to what they do. I just think we've got an amazing team of people. We're on Mixcloud Live and Twitch as well. So
that's it.
Yeah, we're legal now. We're not going to get shut down or anything. So it's doing big things. We've done a few jams and stuff, but hopefully starting to do more, you know, more live stuff and things like that as well, get more involved. But yeah, we're not going anywhere, put it that way. We're committed to repping the music that we want to rep. Do you know what I mean? 22
years deep, boy. That is crazy.
I'm proud to be a part of it. Big up management and people that make it possible technically and all that. You know who you are.
I used to sometimes hear on, I know it sounds like everyone just stay with me a minute. On Radio 2 Sunday nights, they used to have a show where they used to play old songs from the 1940s and 1950s, and I used to think to myself, imagine how good that'd be if they just had a really quiet voiced older person who just introduces old hip hop tracks from like the 80s onwards.
And like Whispering Bob.
Yeah, Whispering Bob, but for hip hop, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, tell the itch people that one. You can have that for free.
That's Dan DNA, aka Dandolph. He just cast a spell on all you mother lovers you didn't realise. Yo, yeah, man. Crazy. Shout out to all the common senses in the chat room, man. We see you, mother lovers. Shout out to Kenny Rebel. Ain't seen you in a minute. Shout out to Yamor, DJ Locke, Original Rockers. Jeez. Yeah, there's some people up in there. And we've been, nice one, JM. Salute, bruv. Shout out to Bluefoot, DJ Bluefoot, Black Einstein. See, Black Einstein knows about, because that's C-Swing. So he knows about the swing beat. New Jack
Alright,
City.
yeah.
Jugglers, you know what I mean? So we're gonna have to dig deeper into that. That's some shit we didn't know, never, not quite about at all. That, you know what I mean? I want to hear it though. Because swing beat, New Jack City, how long did it go? It was like, I mean, dubstep lasted longer, innit? How long was New Jack? New Jack Swing was like 4 or 5 years, innit? It had a good
Yeah.
4 or 5 year run.
I
Guy
think Teddy Riley made his
Teddy
money
Riley.
and
and
did
bounced.
a track with Michael Jackson and bounced.
Wow, yeah, shit. Yeah, Michael Jackson did a New Jack Swing beat, didn't he? With and the Heavy D rapped on it, no? That one.
Yeah,
Wasn't that-
Jam.
Who was it?
Jam.
Yeah,
Remember the
Jam, that's it.
basketball
Jam, the black twang. Yeah, the Jam. The Heavy D. Tough crowd. Anyway.
Johnny's gonna kill me, man.
Nah, I want to hear the tune. I don't care. Like, he's blenched now, so I'm gonna be at a distance when I ask him. But yo,
What about that swing beat period?
Yo, hit it. Yeah, that man. You dropped some gems for us, man. Seriously. So, ladies and gents, man, you need to make sure you get your tickets, please. Let's flash up the we give them the flyer
Yeah.
so people know where
Do
they
you
gotta
want to
go.
talk us through it again, Theo, as well?
Yeah, man, talk it through.
Yeah, you put a flyer up, yeah. So yeah, Friday, 30th of September, we have the legendary Kaos Krew, Genesis Elijah, Lab 79, everyone, the whole ton of people on that roster. We'll set the record, ton of people on that roster. The Last Elect, hosted by Peaches, the all-round edutainer, and the award-winning DJ Sammy Jay. Go to www.gigs.hiphop, get your ticket, come see the award. There's loads of stuff going on, live music, award ceremonies, good vibes. Get yourself down there next Friday, the 30th of September.
Yeah, man. It's going to be big. That's going to be big, boy. That lineup is pretty chaotic.
1 week.
Yes.
1 week to go.
It's a Friday night.
Get your outfit sorted, get your babysitter sorted, get your transport sorted. Yeah, don't miss it.
Get a babysitter sorted, boy. People like, can you? Nah, I'm going as well, bro. Yeah, man, that's gonna be good. Yeah, wicked chat, man. So, is there anything anyone wants to leave the people then with before we exit? Because
Can I shout out a few people?
I don't want to keep, unless you got time. I don't want to keep you lot. It's been a good conversation, man. But yeah, Theo.
Just want to shout out Ling, Young Lion, The Facer, the Thamesmead Mob, the Uncle Tony's Taverna Crew, the Acoustic Family, Hoochinoo Braves, Alison and Maureen from New Jersey, South from Istanbul. Everyone locked in. Peace. Thank you.
Nice. Yes, man.
I'm just lining up this Kaos Krew track to take us out.
Yes, Sammy Jay. Any words for the people? And how can we get hold of you as well?
Yeah, just for anyone that's not sure what's going on with the UK scene right now, just come to this event because it's really a snapshot of what is, what I really believe in right now is we've got so much talent, like you said about the getting not so good stuff sometimes. And yeah, of course that happens. But what amazes me is the amount of good stuff I do get. We have got so much talent. I struggle with my 2-hour show every week. There's stuff I want to play and I don't get time to play.
Yeah.
There's just so much good stuff. And I think this is a really good representation. Obviously it's not every single person ever, of course, but I think it's a really good lineup, a really representative, example of what is going on right now, old, new, in between, just pure talent.
Yeah, for real, you're not lying there. How can people get hold of you if they want to get tunes over or check out the show and whatnot?
Yeah, well, my show is every Saturday 8 till 10 on the Big Bad Itch FM. You can get in touch with me on my socials. DJ Sammy Jay on the Insta is probably the best one. I'm most active on there. I've got Twitter as well, DJ Sammy Jay, but it's got an underscore, DJ Sammy _JY, because someone stole my name. I don't know. My email, djsammyj@gmail.com. be nice and make it easy. You know, don't go, yo, play my tune and send a YouTube link or something, you know.
Good point.
If there's an MP3 or WAV attached and you're nice to me, that's going to put you in good stead.
Right. So attach a WAV or MP3. Don't be sending those. All right. Yeah. Makes sense. All right. Kaos Krew. Any last words for the people before
big
they
up
see?
to our brother Peekaboo, who we love.
Shout out to Peekaboo.
You know, is not here with us today, but next week should be all good. Come on down. Thank you very much, guys, for giving us this opportunity to come on.
Yeah, man. Thank you for coming
I'd
on,
like
man.
couple of shout outs.
Yes,
To the
sir.
missus, to the children, LSK, Scorpy God, Daddy Speedo, MC Reason, Saya, and Peekaboo. Get well soon, bro.
Yeah, man. God bless.
It's been absolutely fascinating.
I'll see you all on the 30th, yeah?
Yeah.
See you lot on the 30th, for real. Yo, what Dan said, man. Yeah, it's been amazing, man. Like, a really good chat, really enlightening, and you definitely took us to a time. You know what I mean? It felt like you forget you're in the room type thing when you're hearing like, what? Oh, so, boy.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to see the show, man. Definitely.
Thanks,
Yes.
Mice and Dan. Thanks for having us on the show. It's been good.
Yeah, man. Love, man.
You're more than
Anytime,
welcome.
come. Anytime, man.
Yeah, man.
You know we do it again, man. Salute. Yo.
Right. So, shall we play out with this Chaos Krew track,
before
nice
we
and
do,
decent?
I've just got to shout out the CMOS boss.
Oh, CMOS.
Yeah.
CMOS incoming.
The CMOSboss.co.uk, ladies and gents, if you want to get any of your wildcrafted organic sea vegetables. And when I'm saying wildcrafted, this is out in the wild Atlantic ways, mother lovers. Donegal. Something you might not never know nothing about. That's right. Some Irish moss, some dulse, some wakame, spirulina. And you can, do your Googles and that to find out like how good this stuff is for you. Dan knows already, man. Look how his hair's been growing. You know what I mean? He knows already. Nails, he's like, what he's doing his waist. Like, yo, my nails digging into But they're strong as well. Your nails feel strong. You don't want to cut them.
No.
Like, you want to cut somebody.
I've got separate weights for each nail now.
Bruv, I
They're
feel
so
like
strong.
Wolverine sometimes.
Yeah.
It's like, yo. So yeah, this shit is real. Like, we would not be telling you about it. This is something you definitely wouldn't know about if we didn't think it was worth knowing about. You can also get CMOS gel with bladderwrack infused in it as well. And yeah, a whole bunch of products as well. If you go to the checkout, once you get in there and you type in about 20 in uppercase. I'm not going to say capitals anymore. I'm trying to cut that out of my vocabulary. We'll talk about that another time. But if you do that, put in about 20, you'll get yourself 20% off any orders. And please do some, research on like what sea vegetables can do for you in terms of nutrition, and you'll realize it's definitely worth it, man. Yeah. Ladies and gents, we want to thank the Chaos Krew for coming through. Johnny D, TJ Chill. We want to thank DJ Sammy Jay, the award-winning DJ Sammy Jay, by the way, for coming through. HFM's finest. Saturday nights, what's that, 8 till 10?
Yep. You got it.
And shout out to Theo, man, for making it happen, man. We appreciate you, brother. Definitely, man. Hoochinoo.
Thanks for having us.
Going strong,
Appreciate
boy.
it.
Going strong. 30th of September, Brixton Jam, ladies and gents. We're going to go out with this one. Shout out to the Common Sensors, man. Master Detective, I see you. I'm going to hit you up. There's a few other people that came through, man. Thanks for coming through, as always. We're going to go out with this one. You know what I mean?
Nice and decent.
Some shit you might not never know nothing about. My name is Mice Diggy. That's Dan DNA. And guess what, bitches and bitchettes? We're out.
Right, that's playing out now. Yeah.
Right. Hey man, love for that man. Hey, that was fun, man. That was so much fun. It's like a roller coaster ride, boy. That was good. I hope you lot enjoyed it as well,
Kaos Krew,
man.
the sequel. It's me and TJ show the levels bouncing, breaking needles. Challenge seems unequal, lyrics fly just like an eagle. Lyrics sound so good, they swear the star we drops illegal.
Get rid of dope with a vote. Left what I left with a will and I won't go there until I gone clear. And if you were part of this journey, tell me how did you care?
To the maximum, the speakers blow the back of them. The weak can feel the track of them, but this is just a start for 10 out of all of them who figured out the different strokes, different folks, different blokes. We see deceptions and the hopes, this ain't no joke. So you pick it up, you pass it on, you watch it last throughout the years. Like the Kaos Krew going strong all day long, all month, all year, or decade, or century, man. The music's gone clear right
Tell me,
here.
what's the good you done lately? Grab a tornado by the tail and get feisty. Can't fit square pegs into round holes. Can't detach a bone to hold the words from the soul.
This is just a masterpiece, disasters on to faster beats. A masterclass of rhythm and speech. We got the vibe to just reach like a window down, drumming to the funky sound. People jumping up and down, some of them smiling, some of them frown.
3 men, 3 times, here's what I'm guessing. Took 3 times to make an impression. Frying pan swinging, duck when I'm saying we might be smiling, but we sure ain't playing. Come on now,
Step up, salute, veteran elders and the youth. Always speaking truth when treat the birds as tempt to root. This is the proof.
breaker, cold break danger. Ask questions to establish the premise from the framework.
From hand me down to mix me down, stay at home to move around. Lisbon out to London town, bring the clash, we bring the sound.
Flip the imagery, change the goal. Always prefer to be the warm that be cold.
If you can look up, you can get up. Don't keep falling for the south, keep on reaching for the stars. Be relentless, don't you give up.
No Paganini selling, soul is intended. The hand of fellowship is what we extended.
Lyrical style and pattern, bounce from Jupiter to Saturn. Double taking, double tracking, whilst we styling up the fashion.
A spiritual solution breaks an old evil relationship conflict solved between people.